A boy named Makoto lived an ordinary life as a high schooler when he suddenly gets summoned in front of a deity, who introduces himself as Tsukimichi, the ruler of the realm of night, explaining how he summoned him here to turn him into a hero and hand him over to a goddess of another world. Tsukimichi tells him that his parents are summons from another world too, and due to the deal they made, they have agreed to someday give away whatever is most important to them. Upon seeing him, the goddess starts making fun of his looks, wondering how he could be the offspring of such promising parents. While mocking Makoto, she refuses to give him any substantial powers, instead only granting him the ability to communicate on all non-human languages. That way he will be able to understand the monsters in the corner of the world where she decided to drop him into. Before sending him off, she commands him to not spread his ugly genes among the humans of this world. While falling into the world, Tsukimichi reaches out to him once more, giving him his blessing to be free in this world. After wandering for 3 days, he runs across an orc lady in distress and decides to help her. She is being attacked by a huge two-headed wolf. By fighting him, Makoto realizes just how strong he actually is in this world. The orc lady tells him that her name is Emma and explains that she is meant to be a sacrifice to Shen on top of the Divine Mountain. Apparently, there is a thick fog that enveloped her village, which caused their crops to fail. Offering sacrifices causes the fog to subside, so now it is her turn. She leads Makoto to a resting place where he is the topic of conversation among the other orcs. Noticing that Emma is using magic, he convinces her to teach him too how to do it. His ability to use magic is so great that it amazes Emma, who wonders just how high of a level he is. She thinks he must be in the high 200s or 300s, so once she learns that he is in fact level 1, she is left in shock. The next day, Makoto leaves a note behind for Emma, heading out on his own. In the note, he thanks her for teaching him all that great magic, adding that he is taking the gear she gave him and going ahead to take care of Shen. Upon reaching a high point on the mountain, Makoto decides to test out his control over magic, creating a fiery bow and shooting at a Torii gate as target practice. The large explosion takes out some evil monsters who were hiding nearby, and as they perish, their leader tells him that they were just using Shen's name to subjugate the orcs. But now that the gate is destroyed, Shen is bound to be angry and appear to exact his wrath. Just as the monster said, a massive dragon appears and attacks Makoto. Much to the dragon's surprise, Makoto is able to fight back. Not only that, but Makoto injures the dragon with his fire bow, even though the dragon is supposed to be resistant to fire. As a last resort, the dragon traps Makoto in a happy illusion. Thanks to the power that Tsukimichi gave him, Makoto is able to realize that he is inside of an illusion, breaking out of it with ease. But the dragon is no longer interested in fighting, as by watching his memories, he learned that Makoto is from another world. In order to be able to learn more about that other world, the dragon offers to sign a pact with Makoto, becoming his companion. He introduces himself as Shen, a greater dragon who is considered to be invincible. Considering their power difference, Shen is forced to become his slave for the pact to be fair. Even so, Shen is happy to do it, convinced that this will be the best period of his life. Once the pact is formed, Shen transforms into a humanoid form, revealing that she was a girl all along. Shen explains that she has to take the form of the dominant person in a pact, that is why she looks like a human now. And she is absolutely taken by the samurai drama she was able to see in Makoto's memories, striving to behave like a samurai herself. Shen shows Makoto one of her powers, a demiplane she is able to control. By entering her demiplane, it becomes evident that thanks to their pact, the area inside of it changed and expanded into a large fertile land. Makoto wonders if they could build a town inside of it, keeping it hidden from the horrible goddess. Upon exiting the demiplane, they run across Emma. She is at a loss of words after learning that Makoto bested Shen, forming a pact with her. Returning with Emma to her village of orcs, Shen tells their chief what was really going on the mountain, offering the orcs to move out of the wasteland and into her demiplane. They gladly accept, and the next day Shen creates a clone of her which looks much like her child, that will keep them safe in the demiplane if something were to happen. Makoto is upset at Shen for making all those arrangements without consulting him first, but ultimately relents. The orcs are slowly building their new village inside of the demiplane, while Makoto learns how to use more different kinds of magic. Shen is taking advantage of this, and while he is learning magic, she reads his mind to see more of his memories. Makoto is worried what kind of secret thoughts and lewd memories she might unearth, but even so, he lets her do as she pleases. While Makoto is figuring the capabilities of the power Tsukimichi gave him, Shen brings a scared dwarf into the demiplane. Apparently, the dwarf was being chased by a very powerful monster, the Black Spider of Disaster, and Shen has led the monster into the demiplane. The monster is a gigantic spider driven mad by hunger, and now that it sensed Makoto's blood, it will try to devour him. Shen tells him that she tried to reason with the monster at one point in the past. The hunger has driven it completely mad, which resulted in her having to fight it, and after dealing some damage, the spider fled. Taking this into account, Makoto starts fighting the spider with all the new techniques he acquired, but the spider's regeneration is making it impossible for Makoto to kill it. Eventually, it ends up getting a bite out of Makoto, which sends Makoto into a frenzy. Releasing all of his magical power, he obliterates the spider, but even that proves to not be enough. As Makoto falls onto the ground, exhausted and unconscious from his endeavor, the spider regenerates once again. Instead of devouring Makoto, it turns out the spider has developed a fondness towards him because of his tasty blood and all the pain he is able to inflict to it. Shen jumps in, separating Makoto from the spider. Realizing that Makoto's blood satiated the spider's hunger, making it able to reason again, she makes the spider remember who she is, explaining how she formed a pact with Makoto. She adds that Makoto is powerful enough to command both of them at once, so it should enter a pact with him too. Without Makoto's knowledge or consent, Shen forms a pact between him and the spider, which causes the spider to transform into a beautiful humanoid lady as well. After regaining consciousness, Makoto is shocked to learn that he has gained yet another beautiful servant. The dwarf that got saved by Shen is grateful for their kindness, asking if his people could also leave the wasteland and settle the demi-plane. Makoto quickly accepts them, while Shen sets up the rules they will need to follow. Makoto travels through the wasteland for a few hours every day, looking for a human settlement. Once he finally finds one, he is called back to the demi-plane, where Shen wants him to give new names to her and the black spider. After some consideration, he gives Shen her new name Tamo and names the black spider Mio. In giving them names made them even more powerful. Afterwards, lots of different monsters gathered to settle the demi-plane as the word about it spread. Other than the orcs and dwarves, there are Tomo's followers, the mist lizards, and Mio's followers, the Auk. The dwarven elder is happy to learn that Makoto does not follow the will of the goddess, as what she desires conflicts with what they want. Finally, getting the chance to visit the human village, Makoto learns the hard way that the ability the goddess gave him is similar to a curse, making him unable to actually understand humans. They take him for a monster, and not wanting to fight them, he runs back to the demi-plane. There he learns that Emma, Tamo, and Mio can speak the human language, so he starts studying under their tutorage. They also tell him that the huge amount of mana he is releasing is probably very terrifying to the humans, so he commissions the dwarves to create a ring that can suppress his mana. After some trial and error, the ring is finished, but his skills with the human language are not going well. While he is able to understand, read, and write, his pronunciation is way off. In order to compensate for that, he decides to communicate by writing magical letters. And so, under the guise of being traveling merchants, Makoto, Mio, and Tamo enter the human village. Visiting the Adventurers Guild, they decide to sign up as adventurers, explaining how Makoto is a cursed son of a wealthy trader, and the two girls are his servants. The curse is making him unable to talk, so he has to communicate through magical writing. As a part of signing them up, they measure their power levels. Everyone in the guild is shocked to learn that Tamo is level 1320, while Mio is level 1500, making them the highest level adventurers in the entire guild. Makoto is sad to find out that his level did not increase at all since the last time it got measured. After getting their adventure cards, they find lodgings for the night. Leaving Tamo to watch their goods, Makoto and Mio head out into the town to get some food. While walking through the city, the two of them get stopped by a little girl. Tamo gets attacked while watching over their trade goods, but she is able to deal with the masked robbers with ease. After she captures one of the robbers, she brings them to the inn room for interrogation. The little girl that stopped Makoto and Tamo seems to be distraught, so Makoto decides to take her back to their inn room. After she calms down, they learn that her name is Rinon, and her older sister called Toa went missing after not being able to pay back a debt. Once Rinon shows them a sketch of her sister, it becomes apparent that those robbers are connected to her disappearance, as Tamo saw the same girl in the robbers' memories. Makoto sends Tamo and Mio to rescue Toa while he stays behind to watch over Rinon. He does so because he realized that Toa looks identical to the girl from his world named Hasegawa, who he liked very much, so he would not be able to contain his rage if he were to go there. Tamo and Mio successfully find and save Toa, but as they are trying to leave, they get confronted by the strongest adventurer in town, called Ace. In the meanwhile, Makoto went out with Rinon to sell his goods, earning quite a bit of gold from them. Suddenly, Rinon runs off, coming up with a weak excuse why she needs to go. Makoto does not fall for it and uses the power Tsukiyomi gave him to keep an eye on her. Doing so, he learns who she is meeting with and what they are saying, finding out that the robbers from before are using her to get information on him. Hearing how she is now forced to steal the gold he earned from him makes Makoto even more upset. The leader of the robbers joins up with Ace, who seems to be in charge of the whole criminal operation going on in this town. Ace makes the mistake of bad-mouthing Makoto in front of Tamo and Mio, who get enraged and pummel him senseless. In the process, they take out all the robbers who were with him, freeing other adventurers that they had held captive. Riddon is struggling with her new mission, reluctant to steal from the person who is so kind to her. Makoto comes up to her and comforts her, reassuring her that everything will be okay. The fight against the robbers turns into a competition between Tamo and Mio, and they end up destroying the entire town while showing off how much damage they can cause. Hey, thank you for staying all the way till the end. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. It takes only a second, but it means everything to us. Have a great day and see you in the next video.